Good morning and welcome everyone to our Quantum Leap 12-week mentorship program introductory session. I'm Rita Fraser, and with me today I have AB the BA that will co-host this session with me to tell you more about this program and why it would be valuable for you to join us. Welcome, AB, and thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
So today is the start of our session, and I'm quite excited to tell people about this program. I think it is different than other programs that is out there on the market. It's not just a normal mentorship program. It's also not just mentorship. I think there's a lot of value that can come from the session, especially for me, with experience talking to other people and their struggles. This was what was in my mind when we created this this program, because a lot of people, they go to training and they learn all the theory textbook, but they never get the opportunity to apply that theory in practical exercises unless they're obviously already in a role where they can apply it. But then also they have to learn on the go. Maybe as a transitioning BA as well, what do you think is the thing that you look forward to the most with this program?
I think the fact that we are able to mentorship for me is important because you get to have somebody hold your hand through the process of transitioning, getting the skills, not only getting the skills but getting the emotional intelligence of how to deal with situations, especially when you're problem solving. The step-by-step process of knowing that you have somebody on the sideline to guide you through the kind of the failures that they have gone through, that shouldn't be the pitfalls that you go through as well. The comfort of knowing that, but also knowing that you have the freedom to make those mistakes and not be judged by them, because you know that other people have gone through them as well. You use the experience of others as a stepping stone to be able to become your best self in the career that you're trying to get into, mainly business analysis. And even the name Quantum Leap, speaks volumes, because it really is a quantum leap. If you don't have a mentor, it can become challenging, and it's challenging because you face so many things, not just the challenges that of the difficulty of the work that you're doing, but feeling the anxiety of I don't know what I'm doing. Am I asking the right question? I feel stupid. But when you have the right person there, you don't have to go through those feelings, because you have the, how do I say it? It's almost like you are able to feel vulnerable with the person that and that's an important thing to have, to not know that, to just know that you're alone, and you're not alone, but you're with somebody that has gone through this, and that makes you feel a little more comfortable doing the things that you do. Everybody doesn't know how this works. Everybody has been through this before. When you know that you're not alone, it gives you a sense of comfort, knowing that you are at least on the right track. You don't feel stupid about doing what you're doing, and that's the big gap between just going at it alone and having somebody who's able to guide you through this. Another thing I feel that is important is being able to go on the platform. You can go and go to the forum and be able to ask questions that you come across, and to once you get there, you realize that other BAs or aspiring BAs have the same questions, which makes you realize that actually, I'm in the same boat as a lot of the people.
Yeah.
And what will give you comfort is knowing that somebody there has the answer, which means they've gone through this, found a solution, and now you don't have to go and suffer the same, debacle as they did, to be able to dive down and get to the root cause. You're able to analyze how they got it, how they got to the solution, and that helps you with future problems as well. It helps you be able to decipher and better understand how things work instead of being lost to start with, to be able to get to where you want to get.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most important things that that the program does, and the exciting things that make me look forward to transitioning. As well, I feel like the feedback that you get, is very important. It's one thing to do your work, and a lot of us in our careers get this. You do the work, you fail, or you do your stuff. Maybe you don't get things right, or you get things right eventually, but you don't get the feedback as to you're on the right track. I think you should change this. You should maybe do this less, do this more. The construction feedback that you get to be able to improve yourself, to be able to introspect your work, to self-introspect on the skills that you need to develop as a BA to be able to succeed. That's one thing that lacks in the work environment, and I think this program has a lot of something that we can really gain from, to be able to look back and introspect, and share that introspect to be able to improve the qualities that we have as an individual and as a professional.
Yeah, I think, Abby, you hit quite a lot of points there. So for me, as an accidental BA, I started doing BA work without realizing, because when I started off, it wasn't out there that, business analysis as a profession like we have today, there's much more visibility. And I think the idea of the program is, I already had to suffer through all of that. I had to learn the hard way. Now I can share that, and you don't have to go through that the hard way. Learn that, listen, what I've been doing now for years, there's actually a name for it. I think that was my biggest light bulb moment when I came across the IBA and all of that. It's like, there's actually people that put a name to this. And I think, that is the thing. And also when you say in the workplace, you have people that are working with you. You have your senior BAs that are working with you, but they're also under a lot of pressure. They don't have time to just take time out and say, okay, let me help you and tell you how you can improve this. You either have to learn by watching them, and you never get that feedback to say, okay, but if you just get told, no, do this. Or sometimes you get people that will just do it for you. No, let me take it and just redo it. You never get to learn why it is not optimal. And I think that is exactly what we're going to address in this course as well. Is like telling you, not telling you, guiding you, because you have to be able to apply this skill in various scenarios, because you're going to come across them again. I think enabling you to, and your thinking to all these various scenarios so that you can apply it. So while we're on this, let's have a look at what exactly this course is all about. Focus on, for me, is unlocking your potential. We all have our strengths. All of our strengths are not the same. You need to identify, firstly, what you like, because as BAs, we don't like everything about business analysis. There's things that I really hate about business analysis. I do it because it's part of my job, right? And there's other things that I love. Like, I love a good process diagram. I love visualization, and I love to share my knowledge and how I have been able to improve it so that other people understand it quickly. And we all have to find what we like, and also the skills that we like, because I know that the things I don't like, I don't spend a lot of time on it because it's just not for me. I think the people that know me, I'm not big on cybersecurity. That's one thing that I really hate. But it's also then having to challenge myself to say, okay, this is a skill that I have to master, even though I don't like it. We have to master it. So I think as a complete program, we're going to have a look at that things. What are the things you're good at? What are the things you're not that good at? And even if you don't join the whole 12-week program, we have those individual sessions that you can attend that just focuses on a specific skill. So although there's value in the whole 12-week program, you also don't need to join the whole 12-week program to get that benefit from it. So let's have a look at the first one. And that is what we stress in the format, is mastering business analysis. So this is, we all get the theory. We all go and we go through the courses, and they teach you a lot of theory. But it is textbook theory at the end of the day. It is the basics that you can find anywhere. Doesn't matter which course you go to, you're going to get some variation of that theory. What we aim to achieve with this program is give you the theory that we've learned from experience. And like, there's this whole thing about Babok, and everyone, they look at the Babok, right? And there's 50 techniques, and you're like, okay, but do I have to apply all of them? Which one do I apply? How do I apply it? Because now the textbook says this, but it isn't working for my scenario. So we're going to talk through how you adapt your techniques to work for you. How do we look at things in a way that practically makes sense?
I think that's important, because you get the theory is there, but the practical implementation of it in the workplace lacks, and the guidance as to what to use in which situation is very important as well. I think you have it right on the head there.
Indeed, I think because it's such a, business analysis is complex, right? I read earlier this week the definition of simple. Was it simple? No, I forgot the second word. But from where you go from simple to complex, and like with a simple problem, you know how to fix it. The solution is straightforward, and you kind of need to just apply it. When you get to the complex side, there's so many unknowns and things that you don't know it. And business analysis plays in that space. So it is important for us to be able to navigate that. And I think theoretical knowledge is important part of that, but so is that experience that comes with when to apply that theory. And I think that is the next thing that we are going to look at. We're going to be really practical in this course. How do we apply that theory correctly in our scenarios? How do we learn to differentiate when to apply that theory in this case versus this case? Why would it work for this case? Why will it not work for the other one? Then the other thing that I love about the BA community is that we work together so well. We learn from each other. And I think it's something that we don't do enough. And I think this is where also it's a group mentorship. We get to learn from each other. Like you said just now, you're not alone. You're not going to be scared to ask the question, because there might be other people that have the same question, and you're going to feel more comfortable. Like, so there's no such thing as a stupid question, but yet we still feel sensitive to asking those questions because of the way people perceive us. Like, you're a BA, you should know this. Come on.
Yeah.
And
the element of vulnerability is not there most of the time. So when we, because a lot of people ask BAs questions, and because they expect you to know, to have the answer to everything. When you have questions, it's difficult now to be vulnerable to other people, to say, look, I'm not sure if I know how this works, or this, I don't know what technique to use here, or what do I do in this situation? Because now they'll perceive you as not the go-to person that a BA is supposed to be, and you are scared that element of reliability won't be there once you display those that vulnerability that you have. But in the BA community, because we know where we come from. We know the kind of situation that we are in, and the kind of questions that we need answers to. It's easier to ask each other in that community to say, okay, look, I have a problem with this. Have you been through this before? Can I tackle this? How can I tackle this? And how can I use this theory in this situation to be able to get the best results possible? And I think the collaboration is important there, because you have, like it says here, collaborate with like-minded professionals. You have people who are probably working on the same project. I mean, if you remember the two-pot project, everybody was working on that project.
Yep.
If more than 80% of the BAs at that time were working on those specific projects, and because we are in that same field, you know, the tune of how our mind works is in the same direction. So we are like-minded in that manner, and we are able to provide solutions to answers that otherwise you wouldn't get in your field, because you are the person who's supposed to have those answers. So I feel like that collaboration is very important and much needed part of this program.
Yeah, and I think a community creates safety. I mean, that's why we have our circle of friends, and because you feel comfortable sharing those more vulnerable things with your friends. So I think this is also, and I really want to encourage everyone that joins this program, make use of your community, because that is why we have it. It's asking those questions, but it's also, you have all the mentors like in your back pocket. Like, we are also on there. We can guide you, we can tell you, and it's 24/7 support. Oh no, 24/7. I need some sleep. Please give me some sleep. 20 out of the 24 hours support that we are there. So someone would be there to able to guide you and just tell you, maybe, have you thought about this, or something like, you know, it depends on the situation. So I just want to have a look at some of the comments that we have been getting. Having a teachable mindset is a game changer, definitely. Please, if you don't have a teachable mindset, I want to tell you, don't join us, because it makes it really difficult for us to transfer knowledge if you are not open to receiving them. Even specialist CEOs have mentors too. Yes, I still have a mentor. I have many mentors, even as a senior BA, because that's the only way you keep on growing. It's very challenging identifying one's strengths and weaknesses without guidance, definitely. But that's why you have the seniors that have been there, that can tell you, hold on, have you considered this? And this is what you can see I'm really excited about this, because this gives me energy to transfer that knowledge and all of that. Then we also have sometimes I look at the techniques and start to chicken out. Yes, I still have my moments. So even as a BA with, I think, 12 plus years of experience, sometimes I still get my moment. I have my babak right next to me. I have a look at it. I was like, because we are human beings. We are not going to memorize things from me. Never, ever. But it is a guide. And like everything else, it's just a guide. It doesn't tell us how to do our job. It gives us guidelines. We need to learn how we can adapt those techniques to fit our purpose. And this is exactly the stuff that we'll be talking about. How do you change a technique or a scenario, or even like stakeholders? Like, how do we manage them? Because the book just gives us a little piece to say, oh, deal with difficult stakeholders like this. Have you ever tried dealing with a difficult stakeholder like that?
Yeah, because some stakeholders want to take over the whole project, and they think they have the solutions, but they don't know to which problem the solution is being implemented, and it's just a mess if you can't align and bring everything back to earth, and just be able to provide the solutions for the right problems. I think it doesn't give you that guidance, and the experience of the other BAs who have dealt with these kind of people before will tell you how to go about it. And emotional intelligence plays a big part in it, because you have to really empathize and ground yourself and be patient enough to be able to deal with situations, not just in a theoretical manner, but in a very practical manner. It's in ways that sometimes are not even mentioned in the theoretical parts. The improvisation of a BA is very important, and the experiences that they've had doing those kinds of things proves to be key to unlocking some challenges that we have.
And also, very important, AB, having a mentor is not going to solve that for you. They're going to give you the different options of working with a stakeholder. You, as a mentee or a BA in this case, you will have to go and test out what is working with this person. When you have a difficult stakeholder, we are all human beings and we are very complex as human beings. Something that's going to work on me might not work on you. Something that will work for me will not work for you. And I think that is where we're going to kind of distinguish, like, what can we try with a difficult stakeholder? And we want you to bring those examples to us. When we discuss stakeholder engagement, like, bring those examples to us. Let's brainstorm together about how we can, as a collective, as a community, the 2 parts, the lovely 2 parts.
It was a nightmare for everyone.
It is a bad reminder for me this week. So let's go over to the next point while we try to forget the 2-part stuff. The next one that I want to really talk about is how we accelerate our career. In this program, we're going to help you build your portfolio, because I think one of the toughest things as a aspiring BA, especially, or a junior BA, is when you apply for a position and they ask you for some evidence to see, or you have to even do some exercises, because I know some employers give you a little test and they say, oh, go and draw up a diagram for us or do an ERD, and you sit there and you go like, oh my goodness, what have I gotten myself into? And this is what we want to address, like, build your portfolio, be confident to share with your potential new employer or wherever you might go. This is what I can do. This is what I've done. So it helps you for employability, but it also gives you that confidence that I have done this before. I can do it again. It gives you that confidence and all of that. So, and something else.
Yeah, no, I was saying that once you get through once you build your portfolio, you start to realize that the challenges and the scenarios that you face here are the exact same challenges that you're going to face in the work environment. So it gives the confidence to be able to tackle these when you find them, because you get a sense of familiarity when you get to your workplace and the problem is there, it needs a solution, and you realize, wait, but I've been through this before. I know how to do this. I need to implement the same solution that I've learned now. And the exciting part is nothing more exciting as a BA than having to tackle a problem that you know the solution to, and you're just excited to get your hands on it. So this is an exciting part of the project. Being able to build that portfolio, but as well be able to relate the things that you find here in your workplace.
No, definitely. Sorry, I'm just laughing at these comments that's coming around, but you guys are really making my day. All the theory goes out the window when you are face to face with your stakeholders. That is true. And that is why we had this session about emotional intelligence. It's like to calm yourself down and just not react, but respond thoughtfully. And that's something that we will talk about again, and we will practice it. And that's where the value of this course comes in, because now we can practice on each other. I can be a difficult stakeholder. Just try me. I can be, if it needs it, I can be a difficult stakeholder for you. And then Tommy also mentioned that stakeholders differ too. Yeah, exactly what I said. What works for the one might not work for the other one. So we need to have strategies. Those different strategies are not discussed in any theory that you, or any course that you do. So that's what we're going to tackle. Then ERD, my nightmare. Well, then we will work on your nightmare. We will make it a dream and not a nightmare anymore.
Definitely. Especially when you get those stakeholders that want to eat each other alive.
And you're the ham between the sandwich, right?
Yeah, you have to keep them apart from each other, like and hope you don't get beaten in the whole fiasco. So
that's definitely something we will be looking at. Okay, so let's have a look. So, like I said, this is not a normal course. This is going to transform you as a BA going into the profession. The question is, are you ready to level up? Like, I don't know, I can't remember who mentioned it. Are you teachable? Are you ready to absorb this information? It's going to be an intensive 12 sessions that we're going to go through. It's going to require from you to go and practice this. It's going to require you to engage with your fellow mentees that's in the program, because that is where the value lies. I can only show you that much, or whoever the mentor is going to be in that session that's going to lead that session. There's only so much we can teach you or show you or share with you in an hour. The value comes from you making it your own.
Yeah, it reminds me of those Chinese movies where the guy gets beaten up and then he goes on a training spree where he goes and trains. They show him train, and then he's getting fitter and he's doing this, and then 2 minutes later, it won't be 2 minutes with us, but 2 minutes later,
he can chop them.
Yeah, he can fly through the air and do spinning kicks, and he's a black belt master now. So yeah,
you're gonna turn all of you into Karate Kids. That's our aim, I think. Okay, so moving on from that, let's have a deeper look at what we are going to look at during this course. And this is also going to be adapted. So although we have the foundational information that we want to share with you, the content will also be driven by your goals and your needs that's going to come out in these sessions that we're going to have. We will adapt because this is a program for you. It's not for us just to share our information. We will also be learning a lot, because that is how mentorship works. It's not just the mentee that learns, it's the mentors as well. So this is the basics that we will be touching in every session over the 12 sessions that are to follow. So firstly, we're going to look at laying the foundations. And that is a very important part, I think, that a lot of BAs overlook, because although there's a whole chapter dedicated to this in the BAVOC, it's something that we, in practice, skip over very quickly. Like when we do get a new project, we just want to jump in. Like the stakeholder came to me, they said, I want this implemented, and I'm going to quickly get into how am I going to implement this. What we're talking about in laying the foundations, stepping back, getting your Zen, your Karate Kid mode, and then looking at that problem. What's the real problem? How are we going to approach this problem? What do we need to do? What's the scope of our problem? So it's just that initial step back, get my calm, look at it from a bird's eye view before we get into the details.
Then we're going to go. That's important. That's important because the numbers that you have that stakeholders work on a lot tell different stories, but they don't dive deep into the numbers to understand what is the actual cause of the problem that they're trying to solve. They just look at a problem from a holistic point of view, and eagles view, and think, I'm not able to log in, or maybe it's a password problem. No, but it might be deeper than that. You need to understand why what is the cause of the problem? What do the numbers say? And how do you decipher the numbers to really get to the root cause of the problem? And I think that foundation is really key to center yourself and really go dive deep before just finding solutions and not understanding the problem first.
Yeah, I think an analogy that I made earlier this week when I was speaking to someone is when you get into your car, you don't get into your car, drive 6-7 blocks down the road, and then you decide where you are going. Before you get into your car, you know where you're going. You have a plan.
Yes.
So why are we not applying that same thought process in our work? We need to know where we're going. We just can't just jump in and drive down the road because you're gonna end up in Durban instead of Cape Town or wherever. So it's important to stop.
You're supposed to go grocery shopping. Now you're on a flight to Dubai. Where am I going here again? So yeah. I think that's a very important fact. The planning and then, making sure that you know what to do before you do it.
Before you do it, yes, yeah. And it also gives you confidence. It gives you confidence that, okay, now I have a plan. This is my next step. This is my next step. So it's so important. Then we're going to go into the problem space. Like you said, Avi, really looking at how do I get to the root cause of the problem? Because what seems front to be the problem is really ever the real cause. In some cases, yes, this is the cause. But when you start looking deeper into the problem, you realize that our problem presents itself is not the actual root cause of the problem. So we're going to look at that a little bit and make sure that we solve the right problem, not just the problem that has been presented to us. Then we're going to get into a topic that I think is going to be very excited for our group of people, effective stakeholder management. We're going to teach you how to manage your stakeholders, how to engage with them, how to identify them, how to group them into the different types of stakeholders. So that's also going to be very interesting.
Then taking away that nightmare.
Taking away that nightmare. Then we're going to have a look at crafting our requirements. That is also important because a requirement is something that needs to live for the duration of the product. It's a living thing. It's not just something you document at the beginning of a project and you forget about it, because that is where we as BAs add value. We make sure that our requirements are living things. It is updated as the system changes. So whenever you go and you look at your set of requirements, it's a true reflection of whatever is happening in reality, be it in a system in production or a process that is being followed on the floor, because not all requirements are IT requirements. And we also I want to go in a little bit of depth about that, because whenever we are presented with a problem, our first thought is that we need to automate this, or we need to fix it, or fix the automation that drives this behavior. And we forget that we're working with people. We're working with processes that's outside of systems as well. So we're going to have a look at how we craft requirements, quality requirements, reusable requirements, and all of that. And then we're going to have a look at the process analysis and how we improve our processes. How do we make it streamlined? And also how we present those processes to our stakeholders. Do we think about our audience, for instance? Are we designing our processes for at the right level for the audience that's going to be reading them? Because the CEO is not interested in the small little things that happen. They want to see a high level process. But your developers, they are interested in those small things, because that's going to guide them on how they develop the product. So we're going to talk a little bit about this, and then also elicitation techniques in action. How do we get our requirements fully from our stakeholders. We are not requirement gatherers. We don't come from the Stone Ages where we gather berries. If it was so easy as requirements just hanging from trees, we wouldn't have a job. Anyone could pick them and put them together. We need to extract it from people, complex people, difficult people. So we need to really talk about how we do that, and the different techniques that we can use to extract that information from people without them fearing that we're trying to automate their jobs and they're going to lose their jobs. I think that is very important. With automation, with Gen AI being so big, there's fear in our stakeholders that they're going to lose their jobs. So it's also giving them the comfort that we're not taking away their jobs, we're trying to make it better. And then in some cases, we are going to take or automate a part of their jobs, but also then comforting them to say how else they could add value as well. So it's that whole thing about getting that information, but again, it's constant stakeholder management as well that we will be looking throughout the process. Then prioritizing requirements. Oh gosh, this is a fun one because some companies work like whoever shouts the loudest will get their requirements prioritized. But we need to look at why do we really want to prioritize our requirements? Value is what drives the prioritization of requirements, but it's not the only thing. But it should be relatively high in the ranking of why we want to implement a requirement. And then how do you as a BA identify that there's value in a requirement? Because there's also other things that we need to look at, like dependencies on other requirements or the implementation requirements. You can't do something before you implemented something else. So we're going to look at that. How do we give those values to the priorities to prioritize our requirements? Then bridging the gap.
I think prioritizing is very important because, especially in an agile environment, you don't want to focus your energy on requirements that can be, put out for later when there's a more important task at hand to be done. So I think that prioritizing requirements is very key.
No, definitely. It goes about like there's a lot of factors that goes around it because you kind of want to be first to market. For a lot of companies, it's important to go first to market. Like let's go back to Two-Pod. The expectation was that everyone must be in and ready on, I think it was the 1st of September last year.
September, yeah.
Yes, yeah. And the thing is, like everyone wanted to be ready by the 1st of September. How many people were actually ready to go live on the 1st of September? How many issues that we have? So it comes like where your value becomes not only time to market, but are you actually ready? Is your system ready to give the users the experience that they need to have when they do things like this? So there's a lot of things that we need to think about and talk about. Then session number 8, bridging the gap. That is how we go from our as is to our to be scenario. Because a lot of people struggle with that. It's like, now I know this is where I am, this is where I need to be, but how do I get there? To put it in practice is difficult for people. So that's what we will be talking about. Managing scope creep. That's a wonderful one. I had one in this week. That's just do this quickly. No, ma'am, it's not quick.
You don't do things quickly. We do things thoroughly. We don't do
nothing is quick. It's not just
because
add a button.
When everything comes back, the question is asked, how did you miss this? And you can't necessarily say, oh yeah, we were doing it quickly.
And
you have to dive into the detail of how and why, the process of how you got to the solution that you got to. And sometimes quickly doesn't cut it.
Quickly never cuts it. So it's like part of managing scope creep is doing impact analysis. What does it touch? How does it affect our timelines? How does it affect other things? So We need to have a little bit of a deeper look and say, cool, we can do this for you, but it's going to impact our timelines. It's going to impact our system. There's nothing, like Dorothy, it will be a small change. It's never a small change. Then we're going to have a look at some data analysis fundamentals. It's not a deep dive it's not going to make you a data analyst, but it's going to show you how to interpret data, the different levels of data that you get and all of that. So it's going to give you the fundamentals that you need if you open an Excel spreadsheet to quickly and easily identify the different types of data, the data that you're working with, and how to work with that. And then session 11 is about building your brand. As a BA, your potential employers are going to look at your LinkedIn. They are going to look at your CV. It needs to be professional. It needs to instill confidence in them because they rely on us as BAs for a very important function in their business. And if you do not come across as professional, the chances are that they're going to overlook you very quickly as big. So we need to work on, how do you present yourself? How do you build your brand as a BA that instills confidence? And not just in your employers, in your peers. If they want to come to you as a mentee, or they want to engage with you, it's important to have a professional brand out there.
And your brand is essentially who you are. I mean, if it's like a person, it's like a person when I meet you and I get to talk to you and I learn about who you are. That is your brand. That is the person that I meet. That is the person that I'm marketed to. And the same thing applies when you build your professional brand to companies, or in the professional world, to everyone, because that like you said, it builds the confidence to say, this is what I am, what I'm capable of, and this is my potential beyond just what I can do now. This is what I can. This is the kind of comfort I can provide, knowing that I'm like Dorothy said, teachable, and I'm able to, as well, I have the capability of doing the things that I can do now based on the experience that I've done and based on the things that I'm able to learn. So it's not just that this is what I can do, but a lot of people can learn from what I do. And this is the kind of person that I am. So I think that building your brand is very, very important, and a very essential part, because as this program goes on, your brand will expand to something much, much greater, because of the interaction that you'll have with the people that are around here and the work that you'll be doing.
And I actually wanted to mention it earlier. Your brand it goes beyond you as just a person as well. Whenever you deliver a piece of work, you stamp it with your name. You need to be proud of it. It's like a painting that goes up on a wall. If you are not comfortable with that artifact that you created being presented on a wall with your name next to it, then there's a problem, because that is part of your brand. The deliverables that you put out there, it's part of your brand. It needs to reflect you and your professionalism. Yes. Okay, I see we are running a little bit behind on time, so I'm just quickly going to talk about the last point, and that is certifications and career paths. That's also something that we will be discussing, as to the certifications that you can do, again, to instill confidence that you know that what you're talking about as a BA, but also what different career paths they are, because a BA is not just a BA. We get so many different types of BAs. And again, it comes back to, what is it that really interests you? Like right at the beginning, when I said, some things I like, some things I don't like. I'm never going to become a cybersecurity analyst ever in my life. But I do like other things like data analysis. So potentially that is something that I can then specialize in. Your generalist versus your specialist BAs. What interests you the most? And so we'll talk about all the different options that's available to you. Then moving along, this is the format of our sessions that we will be doing every Saturday. It's a 2-hour session. We'll spend the first hour on theory. I said it's a theory, but it's us sharing our knowledge, our experience with you on those topics that we have just discussed. And then we're going to go out, break away, and do our practical exercises. Based on what we've learned, we're going to try and build our artifacts there. You're going to have 30 minutes there where you can work with your group, discuss it, and then we're going to present it. Even if it's not done, we're going to present it because a BA's work is never done. Né? We're going to have a group discussion about that. We're going to learn from each other. We're going to share our thoughts on something. And then it's your homework then to complete it in the coming week. Make sure your artifact is complete. If you have any questions, that is your opportunity then to, in the group, go and ask, what about this? How does this look? How can I improve this? This is where it's going to become your responsibility to make the most of this course.
I think the group discussions and the practical exercises will really help with the interaction,
like we said,
because
these are the deliverables that you will yeah, sorry, Ivy, I couldn't hear you there. Can you just quickly repeat that?
Oh no, I was saying that the working in those groups will help you really understand that there are different types, ways in which we can approach problems, and there are different types of different ways of thinking, and that really opens you up to exploring, other strategies as well. So I think that collaboration with your like-minded peers helps you develop your way of thinking as well.
We leverage and we learn. No? Yeah. So this is just to highlight again, we are going to build the deliverables. Those deliverables that you build will be for your portfolio. So you need to put in the effort and make sure that you are willing to write your name on it after this course. It's going to form part of your portfolio at the end of the course as well, that we will be reviewing for comments and for further learning, if there is any further learning that we feel that might improve you as a BA. And then, like we said, it's continuous mentor support and feedback. You will be added to a group. All the mentors are also on that group. All the mentees are on that group. We'll share information. We'll share additional resources on there to help you really grow as a BA during the next 3 months. Then lastly, or almost lastly, this is our use case. So we are going to work with TechCo Technologies, and they are a mid-sized technology company that provides support, and they are really facing challenges at the moment. We are not going to build a new project from the start, because that's in reality not what we are facing as a BA. We have an already existing system that we need to improve. It's facing difficulties. So we are going to work with something that is existing, and we're going to improve it for them. At the end of the day, your solution might look different to the person that is on the course with you. We're going to discuss why. And we're going to collectively grow as a group to see, why is this better? Why is this maybe better? How we can combine it, because then it also allows us to expand our own thinking, our critical thinking, our analytical thinking. And that is the value that we're going to get from group mentorship. So we're going to analyze the problems, we're going to define the requirements, we're going to create solutions, and all of that artifacts then will form part of your portfolio. Then I think what you can expect from us, we went through this in some of it in a lot of detail, sorry. So it's support and guidance from experienced mentors. Yeah. We will be getting the best mentors for you on every session. It will not just be me or any of the directors at the BA Lab. We are going to get external mentors in that's really going to guide you where we feel we also don't know everything. So that is where you'll get the experienced mentors. We are going to give you respectful, honest, and constructive feedback. I think it's very important that it will always stay respectful. We are not going to insult you. We're going to guide you, but you also need to be
I
open
think
to this
something that
feedback.
is really lacking from in the workplace, the respective part, because the respectful part, because you get the constructive feedback, and it's honest, but it's not delivered in a way that is
And not in
respectful.
a respectful way. Yes.
Yeah,
So I
and
think,
it moves from being constructive to being destructive now, because when it's done not in a respectful way, it's really hard to get the motivation to go back and do what you do, to use that to improve. So yeah, the respectful part, very, very important.
yeah. And I think that's why I have all three on there. It's respectful, honest, and constructive. And we need you to be open to this feedback as well. Know that we will never provide you with feedback to insult you. I think this is an opportunity where we grow. So I want to respectfully ask that you are open to this feedback that we will be providing to you. And then, like I said before as well, we're going to give you real world insights, resources that you can use, not just a template that someone quickly created as a freebie to give to you, something that we work with, that we know is working or not working, how you can change it to work for you. I think that's the nice thing. Everything is adaptable. Rather putting more information, take out what you don't need, than sitting with something that's so generic you can't use it in any way. So we'll be sharing a lot of the resources that we've been working with for the last 10 plus years. And then again, just quickly recapping on how you can join this program. For those of you who haven't joined this program yet, there's a 12-week program that goes at 1,999 for all 12 sessions. It's actually 13 sessions with today included. It provides you with all the feedback, the dedicated group where you can ask your questions to your peers. So that is it. If you are not interested in the full 12-week program, you can always join the separate sessions. That's the 12 points that we went through. If you feel that there's a specific skill that requires you to, or where you want to upskill, you can join one of those sessions as well. They are priced at 199 each, sorry. They're 199 each, and you get the same benefits. It's just you don't have to pay for everything up front. So you
And I
can
think
scan that.
it's key to say that we have that 199 per session. But if you really take that 12-week program, that whole 1,999 package, it's really discounted at 600 rand. So you're getting more value for less.
Yes, definitely. And I think also we keep the prices as low as we can because we really want to get our community to grow. We want to create this community where you keep on coming back to, I want to say, the people you love, because I love people and I love everyone that's on this course with us. You know me, I'm a marshmallow. I don't have that name for no reason. So it's really, we want to add value to your career. We want to be there. And I think that's also a differentiator from the BA Lab AB is we don't want to just give you a course and step away. We are there to be your lifetime career partner. Whenever you feel like you need support, mentoring, or anything like that, advice, we are there. And we want to walk the walk with you up to the day that you are no longer there. So I think that is it. Do we have any questions from anyone? If you have questions, just type it in the comment section. We have 4 minutes left of the session to answer any questions that you have.
And I think it's important to note that, with the BA Lab, you have that platform to ask any question at any time, knowing that there will be a reliable source there with you to give you an answer, or at least there will be people in that platform to be able to come together and try and find a solution for that that problem. You won't be just left out to dry when you have something to, something to ponder there, whether it's on personal improvement, for something that you have a query on, or it's something that you're facing as a challenge at work. Okay, I see we have a comment. Will you please list the dates for the Saturdays and the medium for the learning?
Okay, so the list for the dates for Saturdays, I will communicate through to you. You can also see them on the individual sessions. I will just communicate that on the 12-week program as well. And then the medium for learning, we will be joining the sessions on Teams every Saturday morning from 8 to 10, where we will be discussing all these wonderful topics. So, Avi, while we just wait for if there's any more questions, something that I also want to note. So, if you are not taking any of our courses, programs, or anything like that, there is a forum on the website. You register as a member, it's free of charge, and you can go and ask those questions. There are different forum discussion groups where you can go and ask your question. Either someone in the community will answer you, or one of the mentors that's associated with the BA Lab will come and answer you. And the thing is, like we discussed earlier, ask the question, because chances are you're most probably not the only one that has the question. Some other people can learn from you. We can learn from you because it might be something that we haven't thought about.
Yeah. It's either somebody has gone through it and has the solution, or somebody is asking the same question, in which case we know that if we don't have somebody that has gone through this before, we must go and find out. And that's our duties as mentors as well, to say, okay, here's a problem. We haven't faced this before. Can we source our contacts in the industry to find us what really can be done when we find such a challenge in our workplaces? So I think that is very key, because we have that platform, and you know that between the experience that is with the people in that platform put together, there's bound to be a solution.
Yeah, no need to reinvent the wheel. And if we need to invent the wheel, then we have all the experts around the table to help you invent the new wheel. Okay, I think there's no more questions coming through. For those of you who have already joined the program, we will see you in the session after this. It's available. The link is available on your program, on the steps. We will see you there. And then thank you to everyone who has joined us. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to us. Our number and our email address is displayed on the screen right now. Get in contact, even if it's something unrelated. Give us a call in any way. If you just want to say hi, you can do that too. And then we will see you in the next session. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, Avi, for joining me today. Maybe I'm not sure if it's just me, but I couldn't hear you.
Maybe there was
there we go. Yes, there we go.
Fantastic. Now I was saying that thank you for having me, and I really thanks for being an amazing host. Can't wait for the mentorship program to start officially, so that we can learn so much, not only from each other, but from the people that will be joining us, especially the people that are professionals in these industries, that we can source this information from and actively understand the practical ways in which we can improve and become better.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye.
Cheers.